Well, welcome back to the OrganizedPreneur Podcast. This is where we help service based entrepreneurs like coaches and consultants get organized, get heard, and get leads. I'm your host, Aldreama Harper, and today we're talking about something I know is going to hit home for many of you, just as it did for me as I was preparing for this particular episode. And so that is faith and productivity. That's what I'm going to be talking about today because let's be honest, we can talk about the practical things, we can talk about productivity advice and all those things. But most productivity advice doesn't account for what really drives us as believers in Christ and Christian entrepreneurs, as it should.
Podcast launch pad where the dreams take flight. Entrepreneurial spirit out of sight, out of mind.
And I've noticed a shift in the conversations that's happening with entrepreneurs lately. We're not just talking about optimizing schedules anymore. We're asking the deeper questions because I don't know about you, but I know for me, we can see that as things are changing rapidly, times are a little bit different, even more than they were 5 years ago. And so it requires a different kind of conversation, different kind of questions, deeper questions. And so that's what I want to focus on with my podcast going forth, the deeper questions. And so as it relates to you launching your podcast, launching your business, whatever endeavor you are involved in. And so let's talk a little bit more about faith and productivity. Because as you know, launching requires a lot of faith. Business requires a lot of faith and as well as productivity. So we need to ask ourselves some deeper questions. Questions like, does my productivity honor something larger than just quarterly goals? Is my work reflecting my values, or is it just filling my calendar? And this shift tells me that we're craving a different kind of framework, one that blends discipline and results with faith and stewardship, because that's what it's all about. It's really about stewardship. But here's the reality. There are an estimated 180 million Christ-following entrepreneurs worldwide. That's a massive number. But here's the gap, the canyon that we're facing. 99.7% don't have access to resources that integrate their faith with their business practices. That's a pretty huge number. As I was doing my research, I didn't realize that the number was that large. But I want you to think about that for a second. Because almost all of us are trying to build businesses with fragmented advice. Half from secular productivity experts, half from spiritual mentors, but rarely something that integrates both. It's like most productivity frameworks treat time as a resource to exploit, like get more done. Stack your habits, optimize every minute. The assumption is simple. Efficiency equals success. But the data and the lived experiences of Christian entrepreneurs tells a different story. Research from Baylor University found that entrepreneurs not only pray more frequently than other professionals, but also believe that God is personally responsive to them, personally involved in their endeavors. But here's the disconnect. If your decision making, or if our decision making, including myself, already leans on faith, why are we following frameworks that ignore it? I want you to really think about that, because I feel like the new approach should be productivity, or we should view productivity as stewardship. And this is where faith-based productivity really steps in. So instead of productivity being about squeezing more into your day, in this new approach, it reframes productivity as stewardship. Like, you're not just managing time, because really you can't. You're managing a gift that you'll be accountable for. And that framework changes everything. Discipline is still essential. Self-discipline predicts and shapes success. But without purpose, discipline just really becomes performance. I'm going to say that again. Without purpose, discipline becomes performance. Performance. With purpose, and especially with faith, discipline becomes sustainable practice. Now, here's why that matters for most of us who are female entrepreneurs who are listening to this podcast. And after working with female entrepreneurs for more than 2 decades, I've seen this play out time and time again. Many of us don't want more hacks or endless hustle tips. We want integration. That's what we want. We want integration. Systems that reflect our values, not contradict them. Rhythms that include rest, not guilt for taking it. Definitions of success measured by faithfulness, not just outcomes. And when you think about it, that's why so many entrepreneurs are turning away from hustle, the hustle and grind, the hustle culture. It promised results but delivered burnout. It promised efficiency but left us empty. And so the faith integrated approach creates a third path. They say rest is essential, not optional. This new path says success is about faithfulness as much as financial growth. And productivity is stewardship of gifts, not exploitation of hours. That's why these frameworks are gaining traction, because they honor what already drives so many of us, and that is our faith. And so Colossians chapter 3:23 reminds us, or should remind us, it reminds me, that whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. That verse shifts the lens. Productivity isn't about checking boxes or chasing someone else's definition of success. It's about stewardship. It's about stewarding our time, our talents, our opportunities in a way that honors God. So, how do you start weaving faith into your productivity right now? And I don't care if we're talking about podcasting, we're talking about business, because that's what this podcast is all about. So, how do you start weaving faith into your productivity right now? Well, I got 3 quick steps for you. Number 1, I want you to reframe your calendar as a stewardship tool. Instead of asking, what can I cram in? Ask, what is God calling me to steward today? And I'm telling you, that has literally changed my whole perspective. So that's number 1. Number 2, build rest into your rhythms. Treat rest as obedience, not laziness. Sabbath is not optional, it's strategic. The Bible talks about the Sabbath. And then number 3, anchor discipline in purpose. Pair discipline with prayer. Instead of just pushing harder, pause to ask if your effort, oh my God, aligns with your deeper mission. Friend, you don't have to choose between your faith and your business goals, or your faith and your podcasting goal, or any endeavor. Productivity rooted in stewardship brings peace, it brings purpose, and yes, it brings profit too. So, if this resonated with you, I invite you to go deeper into my OrganizedPreneur frameworks, the frameworks that I just shared with you, that the steps that I just shared with you. That's where I want you to start. And so we'll be talking about how to integrate your faith, your systems, your strategies, so you can grow your business and your podcast without burning out. There are so many moving parts, as I say all the time. And if you found value in today's episode, I invite you to share it with another entrepreneur who might be struggling with the hustle culture and just simply needs a reminder that there is a better way. So, until next time, remember, get organized, dropping gems, got my thoughts feeling heavy. Podcast launch pad where the dreams take flight. Entrepreneurial spirit out of sight, out of mind.